Oops. One sec. All right. I had to fix my light. Welcome, guys. All right, I'm so happy to have you here today. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I need to just have a conversation with some people today that need some help. I want to help some people this morning. So whatever you guys need help with, throw it in the chat, and I'd love to help you with whatever I possibly can. Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna have fun. I don't know what to do with this color. This is just fine. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Baby, I do this. I thought that you knew this. All right, sorry. All right, welcome guys. Good morning. So I am doing my normal live. Today is Tuesday. I think it's the 19th. And we are doing let me change the color of this really fast. I think I want it like a softer yellow. Ooh, that's nice, right? Yeah, I like the soft yellow. Ooh, that's nice, right? Yeah, I like the soft. When you're already, all right. Anyways, all right. Welcome on in, guys. Let's do this today. So I'm going to be here for about 90 minutes-ish. Usually I go about 75, and then I'd like realize that I've talked a lot, and I'm like, ah. So whatever you guys need help with, let me know, and I'm happy to do it. We're going to be here again. It's kind of a Q&A, and in the future, I might have people come on. I might do like workshops. I'm not really sure, but as of right now, I like the Q&As that I do. They're fun. They give the people what they need, and I'm here to help you with whatever I possibly can. So I've been a life coach for about 3 years. This is not new for me. Whatever you need help with, I got you. I'm on a mission to make life coaching accessible. It's very important to me. I spent an ungodly amount of money over the last 3 years on coaching, and I think that's silly. And I think that the tools I teach that help people with their lives and their emotions and help them create lives that are meaningful, I really think should be accessible. So if you like that mission, ask me anything you'd like, and we're gonna go for it. So good morning. What's up, Ariel? All right, so we're gonna be here. I need to turn off my Bluetooth because sorry. I always forget to turn off my Bluetooth, and then halfway through this live, someone's gonna start the car downstairs, and it's gonna connect, and then you guys will be like underwater. All right, so welcome. Yeah, what's up, Harley Bug? How do I get somebody to help stop vaping? Well, I don't get anybody to quit vaping. They get themselves to. But the tools that I teach is there's 3 addictions. There's the mental, the emotional, the chemical. The reason why so many people have problem leaving a chemical behind, whether it's nicotine, alcohol, whatever, etc. The reason why it's so hard is because they're not focusing on the actual problem. Sorry, I have a cross on today, and I like the cross, but I think it throws people off, and who gives a shit? There's 3 different problems you got to deal with, okay? There's... always grabs my chest here. There's the mental, the emotional, and the chemical, okay? So when you focus on just nicotine as the problem, the issue is that you're not dealing with the emotional reasons why you're using it to begin with, right? So what I do as a life coach is I help people zoom out and see the entire picture of why they're using a substance. That's exactly what I do, okay? And then from that perspective, you actually are able to solve for the emotional problems behind nicotine, and you're able to put it down and not go back because you're no longer fighting yourself emotionally, okay? Does that make sense? Do you have questions about that? I will go as deep as you'd like. And if you want to join my community, I would have a foundational course that's completely for free that you can take that will help you understand that. I'd love to have you in there. So this is what I do. I've been a life coach for about 3 years. I'm very, very good at it. And I help people with all sorts of problems. So if you just want to have a better life in general, if you're not sure where you want to start on here, that's okay. I teach you foundational tools that will help you with all the areas of your life all at once, because you'll come to find very quickly when you start doing this work that a lot of your problems are rooted in your thoughts and your emotions. So when I teach you how to manage those things around your life, all of your life starts to get better. It can't not. Okay. Cool. I quit corn and I feel great. Nice. Congratulations, Jackson. Can I ask you how long ago you did it? I'm just curious. And I also want to ask you, are you going to never use it again, or do you want to have a moderated relationship with it? Because I believe that you can have a healthy, quote unquote, healthier relationship or a non-damaging relationship with anything like that, whether it's corn, nicotine, whatever it is. You just have to learn how to manage yourself around it. Double fisting today. I love Tim Hortons coffee. I got to go drop my dog off. He's in puppy training today. So I got to drop him off, and I'm so excited because I get my little coffee. Is this an SNL sketch you were just all tangled up? What, with my necklace? What are you talking about? Tips on saving money and not buying unnecessary clothes. Yeah, if you're buying unnecessary things, it's an emotional problem. Every single time, I promise you. You might not see it that way, but it is, right? The reason why I'm taking any action, this is just universal, is how emotions work. The reason why I'm taking any action that I don't want to be taking, or I'm not taking an action I'd like to be taking, is because of an emotion, right? So when I'm at the store, I'm probably just bored. I promise you, something comes into your mind, your thoughts and your emotions that's making you think you need that when you probably don't. Every time that we overconsume anything, whether it's alcohol, food, etc., nicotine, it's because of the emotion we are either trying to get out of or one that we're trying to get into that we think that thing will give us. Make sense? Everything's an emotional problem. And by the way, you guys, I released my community yesterday. It's completely for free right now. And I teach you my foundational tools completely for free because I'm trying to make life coaching accessible because it hasn't been for me. It's been very expensive for me. So if you guys want to join, it's free right now. You can go in the bio and just sign up, and then I will accept you today, and then you'll get the foundational tools. And every week I'm doing a free workshop. At a certain point, I'm going to start charging a monthly subscription because it's a really good, amazing value for free. But yeah, I'd love to have you. If you're considering it, if you like what I'm talking about, if it makes sense to you, you're like, oh yeah, thoughts and my emotions, that makes sense. Like, go sign up for the community. I'd love to have you. And you'll just be grandfathered in for as long as I have the community, so there's no reason not to get it now, right? Can I ask about skincare? About my skincare? Yeah, I literally have just not gone in the sun a lot my whole life. I'm not even being sarcastic. That's literally what I do. And then occasionally I'll moisturize my face. I'll wash it and moisturize at night, but that's like once a week, maybe. So I just am very particular about not going in the sun because I've never understood the whole tanning thing. Like, sitting out in the sun is literally killing you. So I don't understand. Like, getting a healthy amount of sun's fine, but to purposely subject yourself to open sun for a long amount of time isn't good for anybody, unless you have really dark skin, which it won't bother you. It's not good for you, but you know, you can get a normal amount of vitamin D without going cray-cray. Jada, thanks for the follow, girl. When I get bored, I'll just eat. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Is that so many people, they're eating over their emotions, not over their hunger. So I'll teach you how to not do that. It's not a problem, by the way, right? Like, I was an emotional eater my whole life. I was literally morbidly obese when I was 13, and I carried that weight until I was about 18. And then from that place, I was always about 30 pounds overweight. And today I'm like, realistically, I'm not overweight by any like technical medical standards, but like I still have a tiny bit of flabbies because I eat shitty sometimes, and I'm just not in that's it. You know what I mean? When I'm standing up, it's pretty much gone, but that's okay. So it's all good. It's just, you know, the coaching I do, none of it's ever going to be judgmental towards what you're doing or what you're not doing, ever. It's not going to even be judgmental towards what you want or don't want. It's just going to show you how to manage your thoughts and your emotions so you can create the life you want. You can trust yourself to do that. That's what good coaching does. So I'd love to have you in my free community. I'm teaching you free tools. I'm doing free workshops. I'm trying to add a ridiculous amount of value for free. And there's like no catch. Like, at some point I might have a paid community where I offer really low value, really low price coaching. I'm trying to figure out how to do that, but right now the free community is just there to add value and build a relationship. I really want that for you. And you get a free call with me. It's not a sales call. It's like, hey, get on the phone, tell me what you want in this community so I can build it accordingly. Okay, so if you guys are interested in that, please join. It's in my bio. Who's winning the Super Bowl? I don't even know who's playing. Hey, Donnie, what's up? Donnie, join my community. I just opened it yesterday. It's just a general life coaching community. So any problems you have that you want solved, hop on in. I'll teach you some tools. Okay. How do I not crave certain things? Really good question. So that's not the right thing. I don't think that craving is a problem. So many people have issues because they think they shouldn't desire the things they desire, right? Like, your brain loves sugar and floury foods. It's designed to. Those foods have been designed for your brain to love them. So desiring them isn't a problem, right? Like, desiring nicotine, alcohol, desiring porn, like corn, I don't want to get blocked, isn't a problem in itself, okay? But when we make it a problem, what ends up happening is we think there's something wrong with us. And then it becomes a problem, because the moment that we think there's something wrong with us for experiencing a completely normal desire, that's when the shame comes in. And once shame comes in, now we're in willpower with our own self. And that's the problem. Shame is always the problem. So if I just allow myself to, like, for example, like, I vaped for 7 years. I'm the quit vaping guy, right? Sometimes there's still a thought that passes my mind. I'm like, I want nicotine today. It just happens, right? And I don't make it a problem. It's like, of course my brain wants that. It used to release so much dopamine all the time. Of course, it's normal, right? I don't make it a problem. When I used to make it a problem that I wanted nicotine, I actually ended up resisting, and then I would end up snapping and going and getting it. That's the shame binge cycle, right? So we remove the shame, there's no more reason to binge. When there's no shame, there's no reason to get out of an emotion, so we don't need the substance anymore, okay? And that's what I'll teach you. It's really powerful stuff. Okay, do I use a toner? Your face has a nice complexion. I don't really know what a toner is. I'm the worst gay. I just use, like, once a year for Christmas, my mom buys me like a $10 thing of moisturizer, like a Olay, some kind of moisturizing cream that goes on your face and like a little thing. And I'll use it like once a week. And other than that, I just don't go in the sun very much. And I eat decently, and I drink a lot of water, and I work out. Like, I think I actually have noticed that in the past when I've used skincare, it's made my skin worse. And I think that, listen, this is my belief system. We live in a capitalistic society, and I don't think capitalism is a problem, but unfortunately, we get marketed to that we need things we don't need. And I believe that the whole skincare, I really believe it's just marketing to skin. Like, I dated this guy before that was really into skincare, and he had horrible skin. And he bought $300 tubes of skincare and put it on his face, and it was killing his skin. And he's like, how do you have such nice skin? I'm like, I don't use that shit, honestly. I drink water, and I don't go in the sun very much. And his whole life had spent time tanning because he thought he needed to because it was cool or something. So just, I want you to question the reasons why you're doing things, whatever it is that you're using, whether it's skincare, a certain product, and make sure you like the reason. If you're using it because you don't love yourself and you're trying to like literally cover up something you don't love, that's never going to work anyways. So it's like, get to a place where I think personally for personal empowerment, you don't need those things to feel loved and happy and valued. And then you might change the relationship you have with skincare altogether. Just want to say that. Not that it's a bad Packers versus Niners, I don't know. What's up, Mohammed? You can't truly be life coach without spreading the word of Jesus. Well, I actually am. I have a cross on right now. I just turned it because it throws some people off that I could help because they have bad connotations because of religious trauma that's justified and all these things. So I spread the word of God being everywhere. I am a spiritual coach. I just don't need to throw it in people's faces to also be a spiritual coach. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not try to push a belief on somebody and just embody the belief for yourself with love and not judge somebody for their belief systems. So just want to say that. And I'm not saying that you were judging. I'm just saying that my belief systems is, as a good life coach, I don't need to show up in judgment or expectation of what you need to believe for me to help you. So I have my beliefs, I embody them, I don't push them on people, right? My job as a coach isn't to force you to believe something, it's to show you how to choose your own beliefs so that you can choose for yourself, okay? I want to quit my job so bad, but the environment's unhealthy, but I can't tell if I should wait. Get in my coaching community. I'd love to have you in there. It's free. And I'll teach you like mindset tools that'll help you make decisions for yourself. Every week I'm going to do a new workshop. I'm going to do one on making decisions at some point. Maybe not right now, but at least getting in there and learning the foundation that already is in place will help you. That's completely for free. If anybody wants to join, at some point I will be charging for that community a monthly subscription, so might as well get in for free, right? You'll be grandfathered in. How can you give life advice when you're so privileged in society? Yeah, I think it's interesting that when people see the color of my skin, they think I'm privileged, because I think that that's actually a form of racism. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't have privilege. Everyone has privilege, right? But when you look at the color of someone's skin and you assume that they're privileged, you're literally being racist. That's what you're doing. You're saying this group of people, I have these beliefs about. And it doesn't sound like a good belief, right? So I just want to be off, I want that to go both ways. I don't think that it's ever a good way to do things. I would never look at the color of someone's skin and assume something about them because I'm not ignorant, right? So just be careful about that. I don't like that belief. I think it's harmful. So, and then to also diminish my experience as a human being because of the color of my skin also. It's like, oh, I can't help anybody because the color of my skin. Like, isn't that kind of a horrible thing to say? Imagine if I said that the other way around, right? It wouldn't be okay. So why is it okay when you say it to me? Just asking you, Yuru, whatever your name is. I'm just asking because I don't think it's a helpful belief. It's all good though. I'm struggling to get out of bed. Why? I just struggle to live life. Why? Probably you don't have purpose, right? Probably because you're experiencing the normal suffering that comes with life and you can't find a way to justify it. One of my favorite people in the world, his name is Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist. And he actually created a therapy called logotherapy and is extremely effective for people who are depressed. And the reason why is because he said that suffering is normal and that's fine. We go through that. That's the point of being a human being, is we experience suffering and love. That's the whole thing. It's the duality, right? But our job as human beings is to transcend the suffering by finding a meaning to bear it. And this is coming off of a guy who spent literally 5 years in a death camp during World War II. Okay, so that's what I want to say to you is, of course, we're all struggling to live, but if you can find a meaning, which is your own interpretation of your life and on purpose, then you'll stop struggling so bad. And then you can actually go up and have purpose. In 2019, I didn't want to be alive anymore. So I decided to start helping people with what I was going through and all my emotions. I started doing that. And guess what? My life got so purposeful so quickly that I stopped having the desire to not want to be here anymore. So I just want to say that to you. If someone's trying to believe in themselves, Alexa, get in my community, go join, girl, because that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. First of all, there's a course in there that's free called The Foundation. The Foundation, I'm going to teach you the mindset tools of how to actually first understand what you're thinking and believing, so then you can build a foundation for changing it, okay? So I would love for you to go in there and take that course. It'll completely change your life, and then every single week I'm doing a workshop. I'm in there every day posting exclusive content. You have DM access to me, and I will respond to you because I care about you. And you'll also get a 20-minute call with me because I'm really trying to build a community of people who actually feel valued and loved. And I'm trying to bring these tools to everyone accessibly. And I sincerely believe that if I bring these tools to people accessibly, that I will be taken care of. I think that's how the world works. Give and you shall receive, right? That's the whole entire message of the Bible and any religion. So right now I'm giving, and I'm doing it in just faith that it's going to work out. So if you want to be receiving of that giving, I would love to have you. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. Bethany, what's up? It's in my bio, the link in my bio. It's called Life Coach Andrew Community. It's on school. There's an app you can download for free. And then every week I'm doing a workshop, and I will actually keep the workshops in a free archive. So you can go through in a year and go through 52 different workshops on different topics that are going to change your life. And then at some point, I'm thinking about creating a paid community that will be a very low ticket, like $47 to $97 a month, that will give you life coaching 5 days a week, which is a ridiculous value. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this. But right now, all I'm doing is the free stuff. So get in there, get all the free stuff, let it change your life, and don't worry about any of the paid shit right now. Okay? I think I skipped some comments, and let me make sure I don't do that. Sorry. Donnie, it's good to see you, girl. I hate my life. No purpose, no light, no love, no connection. Don't like us culture. Listen, here's what I want to offer to you. Is one of my favorite teachers in the whole world. Her name's Byron Katie. This lady was clinically depressed, and she woke up one morning literally enlightened. And one of my favorite expressions she has is, what is the thought you're currently believing that's pulling you out of heaven? And now she fundamentally believes that that heaven and hell, and I believe this too, is not a spiritual place outside of you. It's a literal place inside your own mind. And when we believe thoughts that create horrible emotions for us, we're in hell. And when we create thoughts that are based in love, we feel love. We're in heaven, right? So the work of your life isn't to change anything outside of you to have purpose. It's to start changing what you think and believe on a daily basis to make you feel more purposeful. So whatever you're believing right now, like, let's look at this, right? I hate my life. It has no purpose. I want you to ask yourself this. Can you absolutely know that that's true, that your life has no purpose? No love, no connection? You can't, right? Like, you can't know that. And also, somebody loves you, right? Even if you have this little piece of you that loves you inside. So it's like, we believe these horrible thoughts, like my life has no purpose. And we're in hell believing it, right? And then we try to solve for the thought because we think it's true. It's like, wait a minute. The problem you're solving for right now isn't a problem. It's not real. It's like, who would you be without the thought, my life has no purpose? Well, you'd be someone who's currently sitting here believing you have a purpose. Nothing changed except for the thought you're choosing to believe. And that might sound like, oh, that's so superficial. It's like, it's not. That's the most spiritual thing somebody can teach you. It's like, your thoughts are optional, and right now you're believing them that are literally creating hell on earth for you. Why? Right? Because you've never questioned it. You've never inquired about your own thought. It's not your fault. You probably weren't taught that that was even an option. I didn't know until I was 25 I could do that. What's my take on debt? It's healthy. It can be. Not all debt's created equal. You want to like the reason you're going into debt. I would say this. If I'm going into debt because I want a sports car because I don't love myself, not a good reason to go into debt. If I'm going into debt because I have a business and I think that me spending $2,000 on Facebook ads this month will help me to develop the business I want so I can have the life that I want, maybe that's a more healthy debt. So my take on anything that you're doing, anything you're spending, any substance you're taking, make sure you like the emotional reason that's driving it. So many people go on into debt because they don't love themselves and they think that having the thing will make them feel good about themselves. Well, it's a really bad reason to go into debt because what you'll find very quickly is that material things can't bring you love, right? What does? Your thoughts. Just like I was saying to the guy with no purpose. It's like, you're just believing you have no purpose. And if you do the inner work of changing that, then you'll realize very quickly how much purpose your life has, because that's something you get to decide every day on a daily basis. It really is. It's that simple. It's just hard to do that because you've spent so much of your life believing that you have no purpose that you fortify these beliefs. So we need to look at them with curiosity. And if you want help with that, get in my community. That's exactly what I'll help you do, and I'll help you do it for free. Seriously, I'd love to have you. All right, Jenna. Hey, Jenna, just here to say I love your vibe. Thank you. Yes, Jenna, join my community. I'd love to have you. Seriously, I think you've been on for before. Cadence, I want to quit vaping, but I'm so scared of the withdrawals. You're not scared of the withdrawals of nicotine. You're scared of the emotional withdrawals. And right now, you don't understand that that's two separate things. So what I recommend, Cadence, is go to my podcast, Quit Vaping Podcast, and then also sign up for my community. Because the podcast is going to give you all the education, the curriculum. The community will give you the support you need. All those things are free. Okay? How do I make a habit out of working or eating right if my schedule is always random? You plan ahead of time still, right? So this is hard for a lot of people, but what you don't want to do when you have a goal, what you don't want to do is you don't want to catch yourself off guard, because we have two brains. It's like how I like to teach this, and I'm adding this course into the community for free, by the way. So if you want to learn more about this, get in the course. Right now it'll be free, and it's going to be out in about a week. We have two brains. We have the human brain, that's the prefrontal cortex, that's the amazing brain that like makes us human, that makes us godlike, right? And then we have the animal brain. The animal brain just loves dopamine, it loves emotions. Right? So the problem is that most people, they don't plan ahead. So in the moment when you're trying to do something important, you're using your animal brain because that's the one that makes quick decisions. You don't want to leave this brain up for choices because this is the one that's always going to go for dopamine, and dopamine is always the lazy thing that feels the best. Not good for discipline, right? So what you want to do is, instead of telling yourself I can't plan, you plan around your randomization of your schedule. If I could plan, what would it look like? Even though my schedule isn't perfect, what can I do to guarantee that I'm set in any situation? Well, I could go to the store and I could prep 15 meals. So no matter what time comes up, I have this meal. I don't have to make a quick animal brain decision. Okay? So there's always a workaround. But when I'm believing the story, it's a story, by the way, it's not true. When I'm believing the story that I can't plan ahead because my schedule's random, I'm going to not plan ahead. And that will guarantee that I'm going to not succeed at my plan, because in the moment that I haven't planned ahead, I'm going to make a quick animal brain decision. I'm going to eat the fried food because I didn't allow myself to plan because I told myself I couldn't. It's never true. Your schedule is never so random that you can't plan ahead. It just isn't. And if it is that random, then I want to question why you're in a life where you have no control, right? Why have you set that stuff up for yourself? It's still a choice, okay? Just want to give you that. Worst week of my life, falling backwards in bad habits. Hey, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. You want to ask why, okay? Our actions themselves are not problems. They're just symptoms, okay? We want to figure out what emotions are driving those actions, right? So I do this work for a living on emotions, substances, and things, and I still fall back into overeating some weeks. I still fall back into like avoiding my business. And instead of making it a problem and beating myself up, which isn't going to help you, and feeling bad about yourself, let's just figure out why. You know, treat yourself like someone you actually cared about. If you had a kid that you saw doing so good at school and then they start falling back, you wouldn't just be like, well, a good parent wouldn't just beat them up verbally. You'd be like, what's going on for you? Are you okay? Let's talk. I love you so much, right? If you treat yourself with that compassion, everything's going to change for you. And then you're going to stop making your life a problem. And also the patterns that come up where you're self-sabotaging will stop happening because you're going to show love to yourself. When you actually love yourself, you don't self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a reflection of you not being in alignment with who you are. 99% of the gamblers give up right before they get it back. I agree. Isn't that funny? My brother always says that, and I love it. I don't think gambling is a problem, by the way. I think just like anything else, I'm non-polarized. You want to check the reason you're doing it. You always want to check the reason you're doing it. All right, Alexa, my BD... I'm sorry if I skipped your comments, guys. Just repost. I got lost. My BD cheated. I feel beyond insecure. I'm stuck with him. He got my car reopened. I don't know. My BD cheated. Baby daddy. I was trying to figure out that word. Sorry. I feel beyond insecure. I'm stuck with him. You're not stuck with him. You're not stuck with him. So... I just get in my community. I would love to have you in there because I can teach you how to manage your thoughts around that. But if you think you're stuck with your baby daddy, you're going to have a horrible life. If you choose instead, I want my kid to have their father in their life and I'm willing to set boundaries and create a relationship that's good for all of us, different story. Same situation, different story in your head, right? So different results, okay? So if you want help, get in my community. I'd love to have you. Hop in, DM me, and I'll try to get back to you. And I'm doing that with a lot of people right now. I care. How do I stop being embarrassed about small things? Question the thought that's making you feel embarrassed and ask if you want to keep believing that. That's exactly how you do it. And if you need help with that, get in my community. Is it healthy to have friends with benefits? I don't think that anything is subjectively healthy or unhealthy. Again, you just want to check the reasons you're doing it and you want to make sure you like the results it's creating. And if you have like the reasons and you like the results, who's to judge you, right? So that's all. How do we join your community? Bethany, hey, sorry, it took me a while. Go to my bio in my link. And it's the first one. It says life coach in your community, welcome. And then you click it and then you just put in your name and email and then click enter and then I will accept you after this call. And then you'll get access to the foundation course. You're going to get access to live weekly workshops that I will also keep the recordings to in case you can't make them live. And then just a bunch of other stuff and all that. So it's going to be really good. I'm just trying to give. Right now I'm in a giving stage in my life and that's what I want. So I would love to have you. There's no catch. At a certain point, I might offer paid stuff, but by the time that I offered paid stuff, you'll know that I'm going to offer it, and I'm never going to force it on anybody, and it'll be ridiculously cheap and affordable for the value, okay? Withdrawal, worst week of my life. Yeah, I heard. We talked about that, right? How can I get out of here? Out of where? Thanks for the follow, Vic. Thanks for the follow, Alexa. I just got fired. Now what? Beautiful. 2 things. 1, ask yourself, what was my part in that emotionally? Okay, so many people get fired and they feel bad for themselves, but it's like, wait a minute, you probably wanted to get fired, right? There was a part of you that wanted that because you attracted it. The law of attraction makes no mistakes, right? If I got fired, there's a part of me that wanted to get fired, or subconsciously, I was hoping that would happen. I had to have asked for it somewhere, or I didn't want the job, or I didn't like the job, right? Or I have a dream deep down, and even though I think I like my job, the dream is screaming at me, and I subconsciously manifested this firing so where's your part in that? That's where I'd start. Find where your part was. Because if you can be really honest with yourself and take radical responsibility for your life, you're going to create a life that's really amazing. But if you feel bad for yourself and feel like what you've attracted is not from your own heart, then you're going to feel like a victim and then it's going to get worse, right? From your own heart, then you're going to feel like a victim and then it's going to get worse, right? So the reason I'm saying where did you play this part isn't to victim blame. I don't see you as a victim. I see you as a purposely co-creator in this situation. Makes sense? So... I'm 16 and I can't stop thinking about me being elder on my deathbed and wondering how my life was. That's good. That's a really good thing. Most people don't think about that. And then they end up 60 or 70 on their deathbed and they're doing that conversation in their head. I think it's great to have deathbed conversations. I do it often. Hey, Andrew, when I'm on my deathbed, when I'm 80 years old, what's this decision? What do I have to say about this decision? And what you're going to find is that deathbed conversations are the best place to find your own insight. It's like, oh shit, I know exactly what to do. I told myself this whole year of trying to figure out what I wanted that I didn't know what I wanted. All I had to do was ask my 80-year-old self. It's already there. It's pretty good. So deathbed conversations aren't a bad thing. And also, I don't see death as a bad thing. I see it as just moving on to the next stage of growth, right? Of spiritual alignment. So it's all good. I can visualize what I want, but can't execute the necessary steps to get there. Yes, the reason why you're not taking the action is because although you're visualizing it, there's still some limiting beliefs that are creating negative emotions. So the reason you're not taking action is because when you think about the thing you want to do, even if you have the step in your mind, you have some kind of a thought that creates a negative emotion. Okay? Your actions are driven by emotions every single time. Excuse me, if you want to learn more about this, I have a free course in the foundation in my school community. The community is completely free. The course is free. And I'm going to add on another course completely for free this week that's going to add on to that. So fucking good. By the way, other life coaches are charging thousands of dollars to teach this stuff. In some cases, $20,000 like I paid. So if you want help with that. But anyways, the reason you're not taking action is because of the emotion in your body. So what happens is the problem is most people aren't aware of what they're thinking and feeling. That's why we have to bring awareness, and that's why this work is so powerful. Because if I can become aware of what I'm thinking and feeling, I can take control over my actions again. So if I'm not taking the action, I promise you it's because of the emotion that you're experiencing in relationship to that action. It's probably negative, like dread, self-doubt, fear, overwhelm, confusion. So let's look at that with compassion and let's learn how to overcome it, okay? Angelica Princesa. How do I get over somebody that I know is a bad person? Figure out, before you try to get over them, figure out why you're stuck on them, right? I think a lot of people were trying to, like one of the best poets, Robert Frost, he says the best way out is always through. Now, the reason why so many people are stuck in life is because they're trying to go over instead of going through the situation. So we need to find out, let's look at these emotions without going over them. Let's look into them. Let's dive into them, figure out what we're thinking and feeling, and be able to process. Because at a certain point, you're going to go, okay, that makes sense why I'm stuck on them, because I'm thinking and believing all these thoughts. Now I can let go. But I had to go into the emotions and the thoughts in order to get that lesson so I can move through. Make sense? Help, if you want help, community. I just launched it yesterday. There's not a ton of content in there right now, but there is at least one foundational course that'll help you with that. And then I'll keep adding on every week and every day. So I would love to have you, seriously. I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying this to sell you something. I'm saying this because I really do want to bring these tools to everyone because they've changed my life. And I really believe I can change your life whether you ever pay me or not. And I believe that with that mindset, if it's genuine in my heart, that I'll be fine financially. So that's my truth. And I'm trying really hard to take a godly approach at this. You joined, Miggy, thank you. Okay. Diamond, how does one become a life coach? It's such a subjective question because life coaches, the whole field's kind of bullshit. Let me be honest with you, okay? It took me like 2 years to really believe in the field. I was in the psych degree. I was going to become a therapist. I'm like, that's bullshit. Life coaches are bullshit. And I decided, you know what? Fuck it. This is where the tools are that are changing my heart. I need to just learn and to listen to my heart. So I'm happy I became a life coach. It's totally where I'm aligned. But the way you become a life coach is by genuinely deciding that the things you want to help people achieve in their life, you're capable of doing, right? Whether you have to take that path first, which I think a lot of people do. So like my personal experience with this in my personal journey was, I was clinically depressed in 2019. I hated myself, totally hated myself my whole life. And it really came to a head in 2019. Didn't want to be alive anymore. So I decided before I took any action on not aliving anymore, it was a real thing in my heart. I said, I want to try to help myself. I just want to try to understand. So I'm like, what's the purpose or what's the harm in getting a 4-year in psych? I already had a 2-year in associates. I'm like, let's just move forward. So I got my 4-year in psych. At the same time, I quit my job bartending. I went to work at a psych hospital. I figured that before I offed myself, I should try to help myself. And I figured those were the two best places I could get help, was to help other people in the clinical world while also taking the education, right? Long story short, I worked there for 2 years. The tools didn't feel right to my heart. I stumbled across life coaching. I had a lot of resistance to it. I started listening, I started applying, and my life got dramatically better overnight, literally overnight. So then I realized I had to become a life coach. So I got certified. I got 3 certifications at this point. I started teaching, I started learning, I started getting coached, I started coaching, and now here we are today, 3 years later, where this is the best field in the world, I think, but it's very difficult because there's just a lot. You got to do a lot. So if you want to become a life coach, it's possible for you. And you're also going to run into the industry that's really gross and nasty and scummy. So you have to learn how to trust yourself is what I'm saying. And one of the best ways to trust yourself is to take yourself through the process of the inner work, right? Whether you're hiring a coach or not. I've hired a lot of them. What's up, Emmy? I'm 16. I can't stop thinking about me being elder. Yes, we talked about that. It's a good thing. A, I can visualize. Yes, we talked about that too. How can I get over somebody that I know is a bad person? I think we talked about that too. Go through, right? We want to go through. I've heard that, yes, heaven and hell is a thought. Pretty ignorant of you to think I didn't know that. Why are you so triggered by that? Why is me giving you insight about what I know triggering you to think that I think you're not intelligent, right? That's a projection. Because that's not what I was thinking. I just want you to know, like, everything that you get offended by is a projection of something you're believing about yourself on the inside. Because I didn't tell you the whole heaven hell thing to insult your intelligence. I told you that because that's my insight that I have for you. I didn't say it thinking, oh, this guy's dumb, he doesn't know. I'm saying it thinking, this is what I believe, and I'm going to share it with you because it's helped me, right? So I just want you to know, like, you're worthy and amazing, and I love having the community, and if you're triggered by that, that's okay, but that's not the place it came from. And I want to question, from your own perspective, why you think that that's the tone I was saying it to you in, because it wasn't, and that's projection. So you can learn something about yourself right now. If you're mad at me for whatever you think I've done to you, you're doing the exact same to yourself, the same thing to yourself. So somewhere in your relationship with yourself, you're believing, I can promise we could find it if you're open to finding it too. Somewhere in your relationship with yourself, you're believing that you're ignorant, and that's why you're triggered at me for thinking that I said that, but I didn't. So anyways, the gift is in the trigger. Now, the problem with most people is that we have such a big ego, we're not willing to look in the trigger, so then we just blame other people, and that's where your work is, exactly where your work is. And I'll help you with that. And not because I'm smarter than you, just because I can help you because I'm not in your own brain, right? I get coaching too, because my brain's the worst to myself. I don't see quitting drinking on there, so I'm good. I used to have it on there, I just figured I didn't. I put other substances, right? So if you want help quitting drinking, it's all an emotional problem, okay? And I'm not saying you should quit. I'm not saying you should keep drinking. I'm just saying I can help you with it. My eyebrows are perfect, thank you. I need to go and get them done. Normally I go to Penny. She's the amazing Indian woman who does the threading, but I haven't been to her in a couple months. All right, let me see. I'm on a crappy Patty. Is it a good thing to, I'm only a couple comments back, so I can tell you guys. Is it a good thing to dictate yourself to the things you love? Dedicate yourself, like everything you do is in sport. It just depends on the reason, right? I think that very quickly a passion can become something you hate if you do it for the wrong reasons, like making money or something like that, right? So it just depends on the reason. Make sure that you like the reason you're dedicating yourself to it. You know what I mean? Write down the reasons you want to, the thoughts, and then make sure you like them and they make sense to you and you want to keep believing them. You are allowed to do that. Sophia, why does any sort of rejection, criticism hurt me so bad, even if it's respectful? Because you're making it mean something about you, right? Somebody else's rejection actually isn't about you, it's about them, right? So whenever I get hurt, it's because of the thought I'm believing. So in the moment, I'm believing something that's horrible. Like, for example, somebody says no to me when I ask them on a date. I have two options. I can either make it mean something bad about me, that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, they hate me. Or I can make it mean that I'm not what they're looking for because they have desires that I don't match up to that isn't actually about me, right? And I'm happy that they said no because we're not going to be a good match anyways because the things that they want, I'm not going to be able to provide for them, right? So rejection only hurts when we take it personally, and that's exactly what I'll help you with my community because I'm going to teach you how to look at your thoughts and question them because all you need to do to stop suffering is to question the thoughts you're believing about yourself. I really believe that. That's why I teach it. That's why I'm making that accessible because it's a spiritual work I help people with, and we don't have to call it spiritual. It's very cognitive behavioral therapy based, but that's what I'm helping you with. I'd love to have you in the community. It's free. La la la. I've been joining as of recently advice for getting over my ex. I'm healed now. Awesome, but he keeps saying he's heartbroken, but he's hurt, broke up with me. What does that mean? But he hurt and broke up with me. What does that mean? I've been joining as of recently. I'm healed now, but he keeps saying he's heartbroken, but he's hurt. Oh, so yeah, that's okay. He's allowed to experience all his emotions, right? The reason why he's feeling all his emotions is because the story he's believing about himself and his life and the relationship, that's not your story. That's not your responsibility. Your only responsibility in this life, I really mean this. I don't mean this like spiritually or metaphorically. Your only responsibility in your life, if you can really get this down, this is every spiritual teacher will tell you this is true. Not that I'm a spiritual teacher, but I'm just telling you. I've read a lot of them, is to manage the thoughts in your head. And to choose ones that feel loving towards you and the world and towards other people. So your job isn't to heal your ex-partner. Your job is to show up in unconditional love and to choose that if you want to have a relationship with that person, it's just going to have to be with whoever they are as a person, which is someone who's choosing to feel bad about themselves and hurt right now, which is not a problem, right? But your only work is your thought line, okay? My thoughts on spirituality is I'm very spiritual. I believe God is everywhere. I believe that we're all divine creators. I believe that our work on this earth is to literally choose loving thoughts and then show up that way and to help the world in whatever way that manifests for us lovingly, truly. And I believe that a lot of people aren't being taught how to do this properly with mindset tools. So if you want help with that, join my community. I seriously love to have you. I'm not just saying that. Like, I want people in there. I want you in there responding. The more that you show up, the more value you're going to get. It's all for free, right? And if I ever have paid stuff, it's very clear that it's paid and you don't have to buy it. But most of the stuff in there is free. XC, King, please never work in a social work. The therapist there when I was I know that's the reason I didn't become I almost became a social worker, and the reason I didn't is because it wasn't aligned with my heart. There's a lot of therapists and social workers that are doing things that are very harmful. I'm not saying all of them. There's a lot of life coaches that are doing things that are harmful. But where I found my purpose was life coaching because I wasn't restricted by therapeutic laws or insurance laws. And also, I'm not doing clinical work, so it's not like I'm diagnosing and treating. So I'm not doing harm to people. I'm showing you how to feel unconditionally loving towards yourself, which can never harm if you really think about it. Do you want to hear my boss? Thank you so much for your content. You're welcome. Join my community. You'll get so much more of it. I'm in the middle of writing a post right now about trying to be happy all the time. It's so good. And it's going to be out this morning. And also there's some stuff in there. And it's really good. How do I stop worrying about the future? Yeah, you question why you think you need to, right? Faith is a good thing for that. But I think if you're caught in thoughts that feel uncontrollable or thought loops or overthinking, join my community. Because the main skills that I'm teaching you is how to actually look at your own thoughts and how to regulate them so that you don't have to be caught in those patterns anymore. It's very normal to be caught in them, by the way, because our society is not designed to teach these skills. Our society is designed to teach you that you need to be happy all the time and never feel bad, and that whenever you're not happy, it's a problem, and that's what creates most of the issues in your life. So I'm going to help you undo those bad belief systems so that you can step into life and experience the entire realness of life, the good and the bad. You need both. It's a dualistic world, right? Without the bad, we don't feel good. Without the good, we don't have bad, right? It's important to have both. Without hot, we don't have cold. Without fear, we don't have courage. Without hatred, we don't have love. We need to have both. It's important. Now, the main belief system that's such a problem, I'm writing a post about this right now in the community, I'd love to have you read it, is that we've been told we should be happy. And that's not true. We shouldn't be happy all the time. Some of the most important things I've gone through were like clinical depression, when I wasn't happy, when I was in the depths of those emotions, really finding out who I was as a person, right? And if I was believing the story that I should be happy all the time, I would have medicated myself and self-medicated with alcohol, and then I would have never figured out who I was, and I would have just been in this enduring pain instead of learning about all the things I need to get out of it, okay? So if you want help with if you're seriously, I'm not just saying this to sell you something. If you want help with your emotions and your thoughts and you're stuck in a life you don't want, please join my community. Whether you ever decide to buy anything from me or not isn't important to me. It's that you show up and get value and that I make an impact on the world. So that's what I want. Seriously, I want that. And I've worked with so many life coaches who unfortunately get caught in the money part of it, where it's like, that's not why we did this, right? And I seriously believe, because I'm a spiritual person, I believe in God, I believe that if I give endlessly to people because I want to and I want to make the world a better place, it will come back to me tenfold. So I don't have to worry about that part. Just show up with a genuine desire to improve your life. Go to the courses I have for free, come to the workshops, and I just want to help you. And I can help you, and I'm very fucking good at it. Like, this is my calling, I'm telling you. The mindset work, the emotional work, I'm very, very good at it. I'm very gifted in it. So show up, get the benefits from my gifts. I want to share them with you, okay? I'm not just saying that. Can a relationship reconcile after infidelity with a woman? As long as you're clean on it, right? The only way that you can heal a relationship is that both of you are completely healed, right? If you harbor any negative thoughts or beliefs or resentment or emotions, then you can't heal. It only takes one person to heal a relationship. Did you know that? It's you. So if you show up completely in unconditional love without any hard feelings, and you don't feel like you're taking advantage of yourself or getting taken advantage of, anything can heal. But you have to heal yourself. The problem I see with so many relationships where somebody cheats and then tries to get back is that the person who's gotten cheated on actually hasn't done the work to receive forgiveness and for themselves, to give themselves forgiveness and all that. And it's going to fall apart, not because of the other person that's cheated, because of us. But with that said, I want to offer this to you. I personally don't believe for myself that the highest version of Andrew would be with somebody who's cheated on me. That's a personal belief. It might change for me. You can adopt that if you want or not, but that's just my personal belief. So what I want to offer for you is figure out what the highest version of you would do based on what you think is right for your heart, and then act accordingly. If you want to quit vaping, Alondra, join my group. And then also I have a podcast called the Quit Vaping Podcast. There it was. Thank you. Elo, amazing. Thank you. Elo, join my group. Because now that you've learned the basic tools for quitting vaping, I'll teach you so much more and we'll change your whole life. So get in that fucking group. It's free right now. I might charge for it in the future. So I'd seriously love to have you. It's in my bio. Go sign up. You'll get so much free stuff. The whole point is to add value to your life. You'll even get a free call with me just to talk because I want to meet you. Cipriano, how do I get over a boyfriend? How do I get a boyfriend in my hookup culture generation? Stop believing in the hookup. See, this is the problem, right? This is the main problem, Sabrina, is that you bought into the idea of hookup culture. So now because you believe that, you're going to manifest that in your life. The law of attraction is very important and it's very, very true always. If I believe that I live in a society of hookup culture, I promise you that belief is going to manifest in my relationships. So you have to change your beliefs about hookup culture. You have to go from someone who believes in hookup culture, which right now you're manifesting that. That's exactly what you'll attract because of that belief, to somebody out there is ready to actually get serious with me and I'm ready to receive them. Right now, you're not ready to receive them. You're blocking yourself from that being a possibility because of your beliefs on hookup culture. Very important, right? So I would recommend you show up to my community. Cipriano, join my community. I'm being dead ass serious, because I'll teach you how to bring awareness to those beliefs that you're probably not even aware of, and then to change them. That's the whole point of the community. Okay, get in, and also you get a free 20-minute call with me, so you can talk to me about it. And I'm not gonna try to sell you anything. I won't. Like, I'm not gonna do that. So get in. Selfless and generous? Yes, selfless and generous is the way that you create the life you want. If you believe in spirituality, you believe in God, you believe in faith, then you'll know that the best way to create what you want is by giving. Because we're all one divine creator, what you give, you receive. Because when I give to you, I'm literally giving to myself. That's literally how it works if you think about spiritual beliefs. So, makes sense? So I sincerely believe the more goodwill I put in the world, the more that I'll succeed in business without having to force people or be weird or unethical. And that's hard, because this whole entire industry of coaching can be like that sometimes, very unethical. Ruthie, how do you help younger people with journaling? It doesn't matter. Like, you just make it as easy as possible. There's no right or wrong answer for that, right? Like, if you want to help somebody journal, just give them prompts. Like, what do you believe about yourself? If you could have anything in the world, what would it look like? Give me your, especially kids would be great at this one, right? Like, tell me about your dream life, right? You'll learn so much about a younger person when you tell them to look at their dreams, right? What would you say about having a friends with benefit? It's not good nor bad. It just makes you like the reason you have it. All right, I'm getting down to them. I have 3 messages and I'll be caught up, okay? I'm a night owl. How can I start going to sleep earlier and wake up? Stop considering yourself a night owl, right? Because right now you're identifying with something. And if you create an identity for yourself, you're going to have to match with that identity. Just like with Sophia, I think, right? When you believe that you're in a hookup culture, you just identified as somebody who lives in hookup culture. Now you're going to create that for yourself, right? So if you want to change your life, you have to change your thoughts. If I want to wake up in the morning, I can't consider myself a night owl, because the first thing that happens is the alarm is going to go off at 6 in the morning. I'm going to go, I'm a night owl, right? So you can actually just change what you believe about yourself. You can give yourself permission at any time to do that work. It's so fucking cool. I'm not even just saying that. Like, that's what I'll teach you how to do in the community. That's what life coaching is all about, baby. So if you're a night owl and you don't want to be, get in my community, learn the foundational tools, which are completely for free, and then come to the workshops. Come join the community. Throw a discussion group in there. Put a journal prompt in discussion. See what people say. Like, this is for community, for you guys to learn this work. I really want you in there. The best way to quit vaping is by dealing with all of the actual problems, the emotional, the mental, and the chemical. So right now, your thoughts create your emotions, drive your actions. If you want to stop taking an action, you have to understand the thoughts and the emotions that created it. Exactly right. So the best way to quit vaping, join my community. It's free. You can get it at my bio, the link in my bio, and then also go listen to the Quit Vaping podcast. And with the education I teach in the podcast, it's number 2 podcast. It's literally the 2% of podcasts in the world. I'm really proud of that. And the community you'll get, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to quit vaping for free with me. What's your Timmy's order? Great question. I'm lame. I don't like sugary drinks. Most of the time, I'll do it occasionally, but I just don't think I need sugar in the morning with coffee. 2 cream, large coffee. I love Tim Hortons coffee with cream. It's like the best flavor ever. I don't know what's so good about it. Can you help with social anxiety? 100%. Yeah, Kimberly, join the community. Because I'm gonna teach you how it's not a problem to be anxious. And once you'll see that anxiety is not a problem, you'll stop being anxious all the time. That's the irony. It's like the paradox, right? Everything's a divine paradox, right? Whatever we push against, we create more of, right? That's why when you give, you receive. That's why when I push, I also receive, right? Whatever I focus on, I create more of. So if I think anxiety is a problem, or I'm always trying to push up against it, I'm gonna create a lot more anxiety in my life. Because now I'm experiencing anxiety, and I'm experiencing the anxiety that comes from pushing the anxiety, right? Divine paradox, join my community. What would you say about friends with benefits? I think you should like the reason you have it or don't. If you're in a relationship with somebody where it's the friends with benefits and you actually want to have an intimate relationship with them and you're not satisfied, then I'd recommend you say something where you tell them exactly how you're feeling. So be true to yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly it. And if you're asking about friends with benefits, like in this group, you're probably not fully aligned with it. So ask yourself why you're not aligned and where. Okay. What's up, PNW, honey? Is it reasonable to be alone? Yeah. I enjoy it, and every man has cheated. I'm fulfilled alone. Yeah, you can totally be fulfilled alone. I'm right now 29. I'm at the point where I'm starting to want to date again, but for the last year, I didn't want a partner. I needed to just be with myself, and that was a beautiful gift I gave to myself. But I want to offer this to you. If you keep attracting people in your life who cheat, that's a pattern you have to fix for yourself. So right now, it's probably important that you are alone so you can do the inner work of finding out where in your subconscious or your conscious you're attracting men who cheat on you. Where in your life or relationships are you believing that you're not worthy of a partner who's completely loyal to you? And this isn't victim blaming. This is empowering you to see that you are a divine creator. And I think that divine creators are anything but victims. So where in your life have you attracted this pattern, and how can you solve it so that you show up and just, believe that you want a relationship that's valuable, that's what's the word? That's a Spanish word. That's loyal. What's your degree you had in the background of your desk? 4-year in psych. You have in applied psychology from Southern New Hampshire University. What's the best way to quit drinking and vaping? Feel your emotions. Right now you have an emotional problem, Natalie. If you want help, join my community. You might have already joined my community. If you haven't, join. It's free, and I'll teach you about the emotional stuff behind substances. How do you do your college work then when you're extremely overwhelmed and have executive dysfunction? I just think the whole entire idea of executive dysfunction can be kind of a ruse. I just want to say that because whenever I'm not saying I'm not trying to invalidate you, but I kind of am, because whenever I've asked somebody about executive dysfunction, they give me a definition that I don't like, that I don't agree with. So if you want to put a label on yourself, make sure you like the label and you like the reason you're putting it on yourself. A lot of people, especially, and I think this is very maladaptive of the psychology world, is that psychologists very, very lazily and carelessly use labels. And then once we have a label and we identify with it, we actually manifest that exact label for our life. It has to happen that way. If I believe a label about myself, I have to create it. It's the law of attraction. What I am on the inside, I create outside. As above, so below. As internal, so external. So if I believe I have executive dysfunction, whatever that definition is for you, I want you to define it. I'm going to manifest that life for myself. Okay? That's why I've been diagnosed with ADHD. The only way that I allow myself to identify with that is if I like the belief systems that come with it. And so far, I like the beliefs. I'm high energy. I can focus on a lot of things at once. I'm an amazing business owner because I'm so creative. When I think ADHD, I think all the positives. And that's why my life manifests better because I've been diagnosed than not. And if I don't like the diagnosis, I'll just remove it. Fuck it. Why? Because somebody with a 2-year more of a, like I have a 4-year in psych. Why should I accept a diagnosis I don't agree with? I shouldn't. Give yourself permission. Why? Because somebody with a master's degree instead of a 4-year in psych knows more about me than I do? No. Because they looked at the DSM-5? Because a bunch of psychologists got together and wanted to diagnose me and label me? No. Right? I'm not saying diagnoses aren't important. They don't have their place. Just like I'm saying medication isn't important. Of course it is. Everything has its place. We live in a divine universe. Everything can be good and bad. So make sure you like the reason you're labeling yourself. And if it's creating things you don't want in your life, get the fuck away from that label. And recognize that you are a divine creator. I don't take people on because they slow down my vibe. At some point I might. I'm not doing that yet. So sorry about that. Just ask a question. I'll totally answer for you, okay? That's what I'm saying. Whenever you get a diagnosis, make sure you like the diagnosis. And if you don't, then trust your fucking self. And don't allow it to become your identity, okay? And if you want a second opinion, get a second opinion. It's your right, okay? Do not allow anybody else's beliefs about you to become your own if they make your life worse. Because once it becomes your own, you're going to manifest that belief. That's exactly how it works. And that's exactly what I'll teach you how to do and not do in my course, in my the foundation course in my community. And I'd love to have you. It'll change your life. It really will. And I want to change your life. I want you to recognize the own divinity you have to choose your own beliefs about yourself. Because that's the only thing that matters in this life. It really is. That's the gift that God gave us. You come on this earth and you decide which one to believe. And your beliefs will manifest because you're a divine creator. Because you're made in my image. Anyone like me can do what I can do. Right? So that's what I have to say about diagnoses. I think that the psych world, I'm not just saying this recklessly as a life coach. I've worked in the psych field. I've also gotten the 4-year in psych. I've also gotten therapy. I've also been a coach. I've been in both worlds. I think that the psych world can hurt more than do good, just like I think coaching can do that sometimes as well. So we want to be really careful with what we're believing. Whether somebody gave it to us with a license or not, fuck them. Okay? Even what I say, if something I say to you, you want to make sure you like the reason that you're triggered, right? Some of the things I say to people, they trigger people because that's exactly what they need to go and investigate for themselves. It's a trigger, it's a gift. But sometimes it's like, well, that just doesn't feel in alignment with me, and I like the reason why it doesn't. So there's a discernment you have to build for your life. Am I not taking this diagnosis because I'm angry, because it triggers me, because I don't want to get the help, and because I have work to do that I don't want to do? Or am I not taking this diagnosis because I don't believe it's right for me, and I sincerely believe that after reading through this, it doesn't feel aligned? It's a different question, right? So that's the skill set I'll help you develop. Like really, that's what I'll help my clients develop. Whether you pay or not, come to the community, I'll help you with that. Because that's the skill set you need to create a life that's meaningful. Listening to somebody else's opinion, deciding, where does this fit for my own beliefs, for my own heart? And then deciding accordingly if you want to keep believing it. Okay. There is my truth on diagnoses. Okay, we're going to go back. We're almost there, sorry. Okay, so Lex, advice on a relationship with somebody that isn't my child's dad. Yeah, take responsibility for your emotions. That's the advice I'm always going to give on relationships. Your emotions are not their responsibility. They're yours. And you control your emotions. And if you control your emotions and show up that way, you'll be fine. Ethan! Hey, join my community, Ethan. I'd love to have you. You quit vaping? Nice! How long has it been? I'm so proud. Really, like preteens who went through something traumatic, for example, for journaling. It doesn't matter. The same journal prompts I give to anyone, because they're going to tell you right now. If somebody has trauma, the moment they start writing about themselves, it'll come out. It doesn't matter what the exact question is. It doesn't matter if you're saying, right, the beliefs about yourself, about your mom or your dad, the world, that trauma is going to be present in their belief systems. So it doesn't matter really what the specific question is or prompt you're asking. You just want to keep asking them questions until the trauma presents itself, which it will. All right. How can I find new hobbies? And also make sure you don't treat them like somebody with trauma. As in, don't reinforce the trauma. Reinforce the healing, the strength that they have. Show them how strong they are because they went through it, not how weak or broken they are because they went through it. That's what you want to reinforce in kids. How do I find new hobbies? Let yourself just be weird. The reason why so many people have problems finding hobbies is because they're too timid to actually just say what I want, right? Like, just let yourself dream. If I could do anything and people wouldn't judge me, what would I do? And you'll find a bunch of hobbies. It's a relationship with yourself thing. You're welcome. Join my community. Thanks for the follow, Curie. How do you do college? Yes, we talked about that. So tell me what executive dysfunction is to you, and we'll talk about it. How do I figure out my goals and what I want to do? Let yourself dream. Stop believing what you want isn't possible. If you just let yourself sit in a room for a day, right? This is a great exercise for you. Whether you believe in God or not, I don't care. Replace God with universe, source, with Superman, right? Because people like to idolize superheroes in this, whatever it is. If you're sitting with Superman or God and they look at you and say, whatever you want in life, it's guaranteed to happen. You just have to tell me what it is. You have an entire day to figure out what it is you want, and then I will manifest it with certainty. You're going to have so many things that you want. It's going to become very clear to you that you know exactly what you want. The reason why we tell ourselves we don't know what I want is because we don't think it's possible, and because it hurts us more to think that it hurts us more to know what we want and to not get it, rather than to just believe that we don't know what we want. That's powerful work. That's powerful work. And if you want help with that, get in my community. Okay, I'd love to have you. Absolutely, yes. IBPD and subsequently attract narcissists following. That's it. It's like we need it. This work is never. Yay, you joined the community. Thanks, Ailey. I think it's saying right. This work is never to make you feel bad about yourself. It's to empower you. Would you rather believe that you're a victim and you can't control things in your life, or that you've divinely created your entire life piece by piece? Probably option 2, right? But then so many people, when I tell them, hey, how do we attract that? They get victimized and they feel bad. It's like, no, I'm not saying that to hurt you. I'm saying that to empower you, because I know that you should have gotten cheated on. Listen, the cheaters are assholes, but you're attracting them. Because if you were a person who believed in worthiness, you would attract people who didn't fucking cheat on you. It's a fact. It's the law of attraction. So how can we do the inner work on ourselves without blaming ourselves and feeling worse about ourselves, so we can create the relationships that we actually deserve? Where somebody sees us and they go, holy shit, I'm never going to cheat on that bitch because she's amazing, right? She sees her own worth. I would never cheat on her. I'm scared to cheat on her because I don't want to lose her, right? But right now we're showing up with this energy. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm going to cheat on someone who believes they're not good enough. That's the energy, right? So anyways, okay. People cheat because they have nothing to... Listen, see, this is the victimization I'm talking about, right? I'm not blaming you for getting cheated on because you didn't purposely manifest it, but you did manifest it. It happens. Listen, if I'm with someone who's going to cheat on me, I promise you that somewhere in my vibration, I'm either believing I'm going to get cheated on, I don't love myself, feel completely worthy of a loyal relationship. There's something in there, right? So if you're getting triggered right now, I promise you, it's because you have beliefs about yourself that aren't that loving, and I'm illuminating those beliefs for yourself. It has to be that way. If you weren't believing nasty things about yourself when I talked about this, you wouldn't get triggered. The proof is in the trigger. And I'm not saying it to blame you. I'm saying it to empower you. You're talking to weak women right now. I don't believe women are weak. I believe women are fucking divine creators. So that's the problem, is that you're identifying as a weak person, and that's why it's triggering to you. Because when you identify as a weak person, anybody who tells you that you have control over your life, you can't listen to them, because it's going to make you feel responsible. And responsible people don't feel weak. But weak people who want to feel weak, they can't be responsible. They have to blame me for making them feel bad. I'm just saying it's a perfect example of somebody who's getting triggered because of a belief you have for yourself. Okay? I want you to believe in your own worthiness, and I want you to believe in your own divinity and creation. That's all I want for you. So, yeah. How to deal with getting ghosted? Yeah, don't take it personally, because, again, see, this is the thing. This is the important thing, right? Don't take it personally about yourself in a bad way, but also find out, like, what's going on for me, what's true for me. Listen, I work with people who get ghosted all the time. And the only way you can stop getting ghosted is if you ask yourself, where in my vibration am I attracting that? Did I not want to go on a date with that second, right? Did I not like that person? Did I show up insecure, right? Somewhere in my energetic field, I'm attracting that person didn't want to go on a second date. And I'm not taking that to blame. I'm saying that to empower. Because if you don't clean up your fucking energy, you're going to keep attracting ghosters. So, yeah. Yeah. And this is the hard thing too is, again, right? I'm not blaming women for getting cheated on. I'm saying, what can we do to improve the relationship with ourselves so that we don't keep attracting that situation? And I'm not saying that just one time you get cheated on, it's your fault. But the person who made the comment before, they said, I keep getting cheated on. If you have a pattern, you have a vibration, right? And if you don't want to talk about it, that's okay. You're upset. You're triggered, right? Because you're calling people weak. I don't believe anyone's weak. I believe we're all very powerful creators. So again, if I believed the story that I was weak, I'd have to get angry at other people who told me that I wasn't, because I couldn't believe that I'm powerful enough to attract things. It would make me uncomfortable. You know, the real reason that there's wars in the world, there's hatred in the world, is because we don't want to believe in our own divinity. We don't want to believe that we're powerful people. So because we feel weak, we have to blame outside circumstances. So we don't want to take responsibility. It's very hard to take responsibility in our lives, because that means that we have to acknowledge that there's something on us that we need to change. It's easier to just call myself weak victim and then to blame outside circumstances. So, yeah, I'm not saying that by the way, I'm not saying that to judge you or to make you upset, but you're going to get triggered anyways, because again, the trigger's a gift. I'm touching on something you know to be true. So, but you don't want to admit that it's true. So it's okay. All right. Preston, do you know anyone who quit vaping easily? Because for me, it was low-key easy. I do, yeah. And the reason it was easy for you is because you decided that vaping no longer served your life. You changed the thoughts that created the addiction, so no longer had a reason to be addicted. Oh, sorry, one second, I do a puzzle. So absolutely. I'm not telling, like, I helped people quit vaping for 2 years. It was my main niche, and it can be easy. Anything can be easy if you let it be, right? But so many people, they try to force themselves into new action without understanding the thoughts and the emotions that drove them into the action to begin with. And then it's hard. But if, like, sometimes you can just decide, like, you know what? I'm no longer a person who vapes. It doesn't serve me. And once you actually believe that, you're going to drop it and it will be no issue, because you'll realize that the nicotine itself was never the problem. It was your thoughts that led you to the addiction. Okay. You're welcome, Just please. And if you like my perspectives, join my community. I'd love to have you. I'm not here to offend people or make people intentionally triggered. I'm not here to do clickbait. But when somebody gets triggered, we're going to talk about it, because that's the work that needs to be done. If there wasn't a trigger, there'd be no work. So it's all good. I have a lot of triggers in my life. I got triggered yesterday by something my coach said, and I was mad at him, and I walked away. And then an hour later, I'm like, yeah, fuck, he's right. He's right. So, how to quit vaping, 5+ years. Change your thoughts, change your emotions, drive your action. Change your thoughts and emotions, and then that's it. Change your thoughts, feel your emotions, and you'll be fine. If you want help with that, the Quit Vaping podcast, it's my podcast, #1 in the world for quitting vaping. Go and check it out. Also, I have a community for free. It's called Life Coach Trainer Community. You can join. You'll get a bunch of foundational trainings all for free, and those should help you with the podcast Quit Vaping. Okay. Hell's Puppet Playground. What do you think of the book Easy Way to Quit Smoking? It's good. It changes your beliefs. So what Alan Carr does, if you've ever heard of Alan Carr, he's like the big guy in the industry for helping people quit smoking. And what he did was he took all the belief systems people have that keep them addicted to nicotine. That's literally what he took. And then he just reinforced the opposite. So what he's doing is just changing your beliefs for you. And again, because your beliefs create your reality, if you don't believe like somebody who vapes, you'll no longer vape. That's simple. It's that simple. It's nothing to do with nicotine. Everything to do with the beliefs behind it. So that's what he does. But my opinion on Alan Carr is that he missed the emotional element. In addition to teaching you about the thoughts, you have to teach about the emotions, because your thoughts create your emotions. So a lot of people are vaping to escape discomfort. So in addition to helping them manage their thoughts, I help them also learn how to deal with discomfort, because sometimes you can't just change your thought. Sometimes you're in an uncomfortable emotion and you just want to vape. And you're like, I don't want to change the thought. I want to vape. So it's like, when you want to vape, let's just learn how to deal with that emotion without needing to vape. And then you'll have the whole solution. So I teach the comprehensive, full picture of nicotine addiction. If you learn how to manage your thoughts and your emotions, there's no reason why you can't quit vaping. So I think that Alan Carr is great. He just missed a part of it, in my opinion. So that's why what I do is different. And also when it comes to vaping, because it's different, right? Alan Carr's main work focused on how gross cigarettes were. You can't really say that with vaping. So in my opinion, it's outdated work that doesn't focus on the emotional element. If it helps you quit, great. If it doesn't, then I know why, and I'll help you with the latter. Okay? Join my community. Yes. Can I get some tips on motivation? Yes, motivation comes from your thoughts. Thoughts create emotion. Motivation's an emotion. So if I'm not motivated, it's because I'm not actually believing that I want the thing, that I want to put up the work to do the thing, that I actually care about the thing. There's somewhere in your vibration, emotionally, your thoughts, that's not allowing you to be motivated. So you have to get really truthful with yourself. What do I actually think and feel about this thing that isn't motivating? And if you want help with that, the foundational course I teach in my community is the place to get help with that. It's completely for free. It's a 45-minute course. It'll change your life. It really will. It'll show you the actual problem. It's amazing. Hey, what's up, Addie? Or Ad, what's your name? Twat. I can't stop speeding around the town I'm in, and I genuinely don't know how to fix myself for it. Who cares? You probably just want to get out of it, and you're bored of the town. If I wasn't a trigger, there wouldn't be no work. Such a powerful phrase. Yeah, if there's no trigger, there'd be no work, right? The trigger is the indication you need to work. Totally. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, but it is a powerful phrase, and it's dead on. It's dead nuts on. All right. Taj, what if I want to stop being with the situationship but don't know how to hurt them? Their emotions aren't your responsibility. That's how. And you literally, here's how it works. Your thoughts create your emotions. Literally, it's a chemical reaction that's predicated on the thought you have. So that's how it works. So literally, by the chemical nature of science, you literally cannot control somebody else's emotion. So the problem with most people's lives and relationships is that they think that somebody else's emotions are their responsibility. And because they think that, they also assume that that your emotions are their responsibility. So if two people in a relationship would just take full responsibility of their own emotions, then there would be no problem. And you would leave the relationship knowing that they're responsible for their emotions. And you're like, well, that's not sensitive. Yeah, it is. The most sensitive thing you can do for somebody is stop taking control of their emotions. Because right now you're lying to them. Hey, I'm going to lie to someone and manipulate them. This is people pleasing, by the way. I'm going to lie, and I'm going to do a course on this, a workshop, so get in my community. I'm going to lie to someone right now about what's true for me so I can manipulate them into feeling an emotion. That's like the most insidious thing you can do for somebody. That's not empathy. Empathy is, here's who I really am. I'm just telling you that because I don't want to resent you and lie to you. So you can do what you want with that. It's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a true place for myself. Yeah. All right, B, just get pregnant and stop vaping. That's what happened to me. You know what, though? Some people don't. I've had 2 or 3 clients now who would not change their thoughts when they were pregnant. They would not do that work for themselves. They were more scared of their emotions and their thoughts than they were of having a baby that was fucked up. That's crazy, right? But it's true. So sometimes it isn't that simple, right? I'm shocked that it's not that simple, but some people are not willing to look at their thoughts and their emotions. Some people are literally willing to wage war over fear, right? Some people are willing to literally kill other people rather than look at their own fear and inadequacy of themselves. That's what all war is predicated on. So if it was that simple to change your behavior, wars wouldn't exist, right? Fear, negative emotions are the reasons that all the horrible things happen in the world. And the reason that we're feeling those emotions is because what we're choosing to believe in the moment. But some people are so unwilling to do that work on themselves and their shadow work that they're going to literally kill other people to avoid it, unfortunately. So our work is this. This is our work. You want to stop war. You want to stop hatred. You want to stop famine. Do the work on yourself. This is the most important work you'll ever do. Stop saying yes to people when you don't want to say yes. Stop saying in relationships where you're resenting the person because you're too scared to hurt their feelings. It's not about their feelings. It's that you're lying to yourself about what's true for you because you're too scared to confront the fear of making somebody else uncomfortable. That's the exact same energy that war is founded on. And that's not compassionate. So lying to somebody about their emotions is the least compassionate thing that you can do. I believe that. Well, damn, right? It is damn. And I don't mean that to scare people. I mean that to say that if you do the work on yourself and you show unconditional love to yourself first and clean all that shit up and make your emotions the most important thing for yourself, then you will show up in unconditional love. And enough people do that, we stop having a war. Because you just need a critical mass, right? It's pi. It's 3.1416% of people, once they do the work on themselves, where they're in unconditional love, it affects the entire globe. So it only takes you choosing to look at your own thoughts today to change the world. And that's what my entire community is predicated on. And you'll learn how to do that all for free. Get the fuck in the community. I'm this passionate about it. I really believe this is the work that's going to be, like, I'm spiritual. Like, I believe that the most important thing I can teach people is this. How to look at ourselves, our own inadequacies, do our own shadow work, do our own thought and emotional work so that we can show up in unconditional love for ourselves and say no when we want to and yes when we want to. Okay? We've been programmed from birth. We have. And I'm here to unprogram you. I'm here to unprogram myself. Okay? Get in the community. That's what it's all about. And you talk about whatever the fuck you want. Go in the main chat and tell me about anything you want. And let other people see your vulnerability and let's work on that shit. And that's the kind of energy, that vulnerability and willingness to look at ourselves compassionately. That's the kind of energy that literally ends wars. So let's do it. How do you get a life coach? Join my community for free. And if you want coaching one-on-one and you like what I do, you can always get on a call with me. You don't have to, but you can always get on a conversation and say, hey, I want this. Let's talk about how I can make it work for you in a way that makes sense to you financially and time-wise. How can I, yeah, I like you. Thanks. Get in my community. It's free. Okay, I have to go to the bathroom. I drank coffee. I have to go to the bathroom. How should I go about choosing which state to live in? Your emotions are guide you that way. It's not about choosing. It's about feeling. So instead of, like, if you just listen, if you actually are connected to yourself, like, get into a spirit, like, go meditate for 30 minutes and say this: I am going to listen to my inner gut. My gut, my gut, my guide, my universe, the God, whatever you want to say, will guide me. I choose to believe that I know what's best for me. And you take out a map after of the US and you start pointing and you listen to your gut on every single state that you point to, your gut will tell you exactly where you want to move. The problem is that most people won't listen because they're scared, right? That's the problem with choosing fear over faith, right? Is that, like, if I have faith, I'll listen to my gut, and my gut's always right because my gut is divinely connected to God. So this is the work, by the way. This is why it's so important. The stages are, let's learn how to even get into our thoughts, first stage, right? Then we're going to learn how to feel our emotions. And now that we have that skill set, now we can take action from a divine place, okay? So most people, the problem is, Benedictus, get in my community. You best get in there. I opened it. It's great. If you can learn how to understand your thoughts and to have access to them and simultaneously learn how to get access to your body and feel your emotions, you'll become a divine creator like everybody else, okay? All right. I think I have to go to the bathroom. I've been on for, 1 hour, 5 minutes. Yeah, I think it's been good, you guys. Willow, wait a minute. Hey, welcome back. When I tell people that they get mad at me because they yell. Yeah, so when I tell somebody the truth about what I want, that person is not acting like an emotional adult. They don't know that their thought creates their emotion, so they're trying to blame me for the emotion they're experiencing that their thought about my action has created. And then what happens is I don't act like an emotional adult because I let their opinion become more important than my opinion. So I take it personally against myself, I believe it, and then I cry. Okay? So the problem with most relationships is that we're literally, it's two people trying to regulate their emotions from the other person's actions. I'm giving away all my power to you and you're giving it all away to me, and now we have a problem. It only takes one person to take emotional responsibility to end any war, any conflict. It takes two to tango, right? So my truth is I'm going to say what I want because I want to say it. It comes from love for myself. I don't want to go to that party tonight. And you're allowed to have any emotional reaction you want because your thought about what I just said is going to create your emotion. You can choose to think it's okay, it's not against me. You can choose to think that Willow doesn't like me and that's why she doesn't want to come tonight, and then I get personally attacked, right? That's not my business. My business is my thought. And right now I'm choosing I don't want to go to the party because I don't want to go. And that's all I need to know. And whatever reaction you have isn't against me, it's against yourself because you're literally creating your own thought for yourself. So what you're literally doing is hurting yourself because of the story you're telling. And because you don't believe that you're the one hurting yourself, you have to tell me that I'm the one creating that problem. Do you see the issue? Very logical. Get in my community. You need to learn about emotional adulthood. Nobody's teaching this, by the way, except for really good life coaches, which I've paid literally $40,000 to learn, but I'll do it for free. Get in my community. I want you in there, okay? High Sweet Vaping. Listen to the Quit Vaping podcast. It's the 2% podcast in the world. It's mine. And then also join my community for free. And I'll teach you about the mental, the emotional, and the chemical addiction, and then you'll be able to quit for good. Boy, you ain't no life coach. I don't know what that means. What would make me a life coach? By your own belief system, right? So this is a really good example. Let's talk about this really fast before I get off. Somebody said that I'm not a life coach, right? I know that that's a fact of my life that someone said that. I also know that I create my own emotion by the thought I decide to tell about what he said. The thought I decide to tell is that's interesting. I'm curious what he thinks that would make him believe that I'm a life coach. I'm not taking it personally at all, by the way. I know that he has his own belief system about life coaching that have nothing to do with me, right? So let's figure out what he's believing without taking it personally. And maybe he'll say something that's mad or rooted in hatred and fear or anger, right? Again, I know that that's not my work. My work is to come back with love and to make sure that the thought I'm believing is compassionate towards myself. And because it's compassionate towards myself, it'll be compassionate to him, as above, so below. If I'm loving myself on the inside and feeling good emotions, I can only express good emotions. Just like if I'm hating myself, I can only express hate, right? That's why anyone else's emotional reaction isn't personal to me, it's personal to them. Make sense? Isn't this good? Isn't this fucking good? Get in my community. Okay. I've always been single my whole life. I don't know why. I can tell you why, because you believe that you're someone who's single. You're identifying with a single person right now. If you want to have a relationship, you have to actually believe thoughts and beliefs that somebody who would be in a relationship would believe. I'm worthy. I love myself. Somebody would want to date me. I'm a good partner. Right now, those beliefs aren't circling in your head. That's why you're not attracting people in your life who would be a good partner, because you don't believe that you are one. Exactly, right? If I have a result in my life, I promise you, if I'm willing to drop my ego and do the work with love, I'll find the exact thoughts I'm believing that have created that result. Okay? Yay, you requested join. Benedictus! Oh, you're so getting in. All right, so I'm a senior in high school. I'm thinking of going back to my hometown school for my senior year to have fun. Go do it, girl. Have fun. What feels more love? What feels like if you, Brookie, if you are, imagine yourself from the deathbed scenario, right? You're 80 years old. You have this option to go back and have fun or to not. What are you going to tell yourself from it? When nothing else matters about all the particulars and all the money and everyone else's opinions when you're 80 years old, what's the advice you give yourself? That's the answer. Now, the only reason you wouldn't take that answer is because you're scared. And now, when we're in fear, where it's time to build faith for ourselves, it's going to work out how it should if I follow my heart. Okay? If you want help with that, join my community early. That is what I will teach you. I don't know what I want to do with my life. That's okay. I don't believe that. Okay? You know why, Madison? Do you want to have $1 million a year job or business or make $0? Oh, $1 million. Oh, okay. So you do know what you want with your life. Do you want to have 5 dogs right now or do you want to have no dogs? No dogs probably? Okay, cool. Do you want to have a boyfriend or a partner that loves you and you love them and you have kids or not? Probably option 1, most people would say. Do you want to live in a city that's exciting, that's fun, or do you want to live in like your hometown? You know, I don't know what your experience is, but do you want to live in the hometown you grew up in or a different city? Most likely you could give me the answer. So what you're going to come to find very fast is when you stop believing the lie that you don't know what you want, you become the person who knows what you want. Because your life is predicated on the beliefs you're choosing, not of anything external. When I identify as someone who doesn't know what they want, I create so much proof for that, and it creates confusion and I get scared. When I stop believing that story, I become the person who no longer identifies with the story. I stop being that story. Isn't that crazy? So what I want to find out for you is, why are you choosing to believe you don't know what you want? Where in your life is that protecting you? And if you want help with that, get the fuck in my community right now. Go take the foundational course. Let's fucking go. Okay? Because I got in this originally because I was having a quarter life crisis. Bro paid 40 grand to go on live. Yes. How do I stop overthinking? It's not an overthinking problem, it's an overbelieving problem, right? So thoughts just come in, right? Thoughts are like Mike Tyson. They're hitting you, well, not in the last fight. He could have beat Jake Paul. Let's all agree with that. Mike Tyson's just coming at you in the ring. He's just punching you, right? Oh, you're not worthy. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, everyone hates you. Oh, like those thoughts are always going to come in. The punches themselves are not the problem. It's what we do with the punches, right? Am I going to sit here and believe every negative thought that comes in? Most people do because they don't know that they can choose not to. The problem with most people is they just think their thoughts are true. It's like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, it's a fact. It's like, no, wait a minute. You know, you as a divine creator can choose whether or not you want to believe that, and that's where all your power is. So the goal isn't to stop overthinking. That's not possible. Your thoughts are going to think you. The goal is to stop overbelieving. That's the problem. Choose to believe wisely. Okay? Thanks, Benedictus. I appreciate you. Nadia, hey, I've been stuck on my ex for a year, and I convinced myself that yes, nobody will love me again. Get in my group, girl. Because that's not a true thought, but right now you're believing it, so it's becoming true for you, right? Because when I'm sitting here in the thought that no one's going to love me, guess who's not loving me? So I'm guaranteeing that result right now in the present moment, which, by the way, the present moment is the only moment we have to create. So right now, in the present moment, since this is the only moment I have, I'm believing no one's going to love me. I'm creating the result that no one's ever going to love me again every single moment of the day. I'm guaranteeing that result. So the problem isn't your ex. The problem is your thoughts about your ex. The problem and the solution is always going to be here, and we can solve for that if we take responsibility with love and compassion for ourselves. Not with shame and guilt, not with victimization, with love, compassion, empowerment. I'm 1 year clean today. Hell, fuck yeah. Nice job, Adrian. I want a big change. Yes, get in my community. You are literally, that's divinely perfect that you're a year. I just opened the community yesterday. Get in. Learn the foundational tools and then just be an active participant. Ask anything you want. We'll talk about it. But I like myself in love. But like I have self-love and I'm very aware. Well, it's not loving in the moment when you're believing I'll never find love again, right? The opposite of love is believing a thought that doesn't create love. And in the moment when I think no one will love me, are you feeling love? No. So you don't have self-love in that moment, right? So you can be as aware as you want, but if you're believing nasty thoughts about yourself, you're just aware, you're creating things you don't want with awareness, which is not that helpful. So how do we stop doing that, right? Make sense? All right, I'm skipping some comments. I gotta go to the bathroom. My favorite psychologist in history, he's actually a psychiatrist. So I have two. My favorite psychologist in history is Jordan Peterson. I don't care what you think or what your political views are. That man saved my life and pulled me out of depression. Okay? So who cares about his politics? And also, his politics are widely misunderstood. Second of all, my favorite psychiatrist is Viktor Frankl. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning. He developed logotherapy, which is therapy through meaning. Jordan Peterson, Viktor Frankl gave meaning to my life. So, okay? How to stop nitrous. Figure out what's going on with your relationship with yourself to where you think you need to numb yourself. Is it bad to have hyperfixation with celebrity? Well, no, but I want to say that you're probably, the reason you have that fixation is because I would imagine you're believing that they're God in some weird way. The reason why it's so bad that we have celebrity and superhero culture is because we don't believe in God and ourselves as divine creators. So we look outside of us. And right now, the real world example, since so many people don't like the religions, is we look for celebrities. So we actually, the concept that human beings need for God, need for a higher power, we give to celebrities, which is a horrible thing to do. Because most celebrities are very greedy and selfish people that have literally sold out their soul for money. And I'm not saying all of them are, but a lot of them are, right? So make sure you like the celebrity, make sure that you want to worship that person. Because what you're doing is literally worshiping. And when you worship an idol like that, it's going to manifest in your life in all sorts of ways. So make sure that you worship one that's rooted in unconditional love, or your life won't be unconditionally loving. Jordan Peterson's great. All right, guys, I literally have to go to the bathroom. I need to quit vaping. You've lost brain cells. Go to my Quit Vaping podcast, join my community, girl. Okay? Go to my bio, join my community. It's free. I'll invite you in. You'll learn a bunch of stuff for free. And then also go listen to my podcast, the Quit Vaping podcast. Okay, so if you believe that going to the gym is a waste of time, you're going to stop going. So the reason why most people can't maintain motivation, by Willow, is because they stop believing somewhere along the line of their goals that it's going to work out. That's the problem. So the only way to reach a goal is by constantly reminding yourself it's going to work, or else you're going to lose motivation. Motivation is an internal job. One last call to action. Join my community. I'd love to have you. I'll welcome you in right now. There's a free course in there. There's free workshops. It's going to be amazing. Bye.